Are you a business owner or a manager who loves to kick ass and take names? Guess what? That management style is now going out of style, and it's time for you to change. Kevin Weir, your Action Business Coach. And one of the things we're seeing out in society is that management styles are changing in many respects for the better. Let me give you an example of that. If you follow pro football in the National Football League, what are we seeing? Bill Belichick, coach of the New England Patriots, very intimidating, yeller, screamer type of person, gone. Mike Vrabel, former coach of the Tennessee Titans, very intense, gone. Who's in? Dan Campbell, enthusiastic leader and coach of the Detroit Lions, now in the NFC Finals. And Raheem Morris, a real positive energy person, and just got hired as the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. What's that telling us? That's telling us that there is a change in management style that we all need to start adapting. See, here's the thing. Let's talk a little bit about demographics. Back a number of years ago, we would see typical 7, 8, 9% unemployment. That went along with people who could yell and scream and intimidate and get away with it because guess what? You didn't have many choices for a job. Now the demographics have changed. We now have millennials and Gen Zs dominating the marketplace, and we have 3% unemployment. Guess what? If you try to use old style intimidating management, guess what happens? They leave because they got lots of choices out there. So let's talk about, let's say that you are a business owner or you're a manager and you are only used to knowing how to do old school yell, scream, and intimidate management. And you ask yourself right now, Kevin, how am I going to change? I'm going to give you 5 steps that you can go and take and start working on these 5 steps to change your management style from old school to new school. Let's start off. So step number 1 is you have to ask for feedback from your employees. Yes, you just heard that from me. You're going to have to go to your employees and ask for feedback from them. That may not be comfortable for you, but the only way you're going to learn how to become a better manager is to hear from them. Now, one of the great ways you can do that is through a 360-degree evaluation process. If you want to do that on your own within your team, you can do that. You can bring somebody in like me who can basically put that all together for you. But I'll give you a quick story here. I had a general manager of a company who was very classic old style. And we did a 360-degree feedback from him, and it got a lot of negative numbers. And he thought he was an absolutely great manager who everybody loved. And when he saw the scores, he wasn't a very happy camper. And his coach, I just said, you know what? You're going to have to figure out how to change because it's obvious the way you're managing and leading teams isn't working for you anymore. And he struggled at it. And he ended up leaving the company and decided to retire because he couldn't change. He was sort of the Bill Belichick of that company. And so there are some people who just can't change. But the first step is to ask for feedback. The second step is do more listening and less talking. A lot of old school managers love to hear the sound of their own voice. Now, does that mean you still need to communicate effectively for your team members? Oh yeah, absolutely. But we find that there's an old saying is that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and that you should use them in proportion of those numbers. A lot more listening and less talking. So start figuring out how you can listen to your employees and not cut them off mid-sentence or dismiss what they're telling you, okay? So number 3 is you got to catch employees doing something right. Now this is something I've talked a lot about in previous videos, but it's still critically important. Your job as a manager and as a business owner is to catch people doing things right. When you catch people doing things right, guess what they want to do? More of that. If you focus in on only catching people doing wrong, guess what they're going to do? They're going to hide from you. So keep when you walk in, find something that somebody has done right, praise them openly, and then if you need to correct them, do it privately. But I can tell you right now, when you catch people doing things right, it really amps up your ability to manage effectively. Now, number 4 is you need to figure out a way to be more upbeat. Set a positive tone. Now, you may be one of those individuals who hates the cheerleader mentality. You're not going to walk in and do a rah-rah speech all the time. That's fine. But find a way, at least something, so you can change the tone. Maybe you don't smile. Maybe you walk around and you have a frown on your face. And maybe you have to say, you know what, I'm going to start smiling more. Guess what? That changes the temperature. Maybe instead of having the low grumble, you have a little bit more positive upbeat in your voice. Nobody's going to ask you to go into huge, rah-rah modes. But find a way to change the tone by the way you carry yourself, the tone of your voice, the overall attitude you carry. And that gets back to step number 1 is ask for feedback. Feedback is not a one-time event, it's a multiple event. And so when you work at changing the tone in the company by your body language, your voice, your behaviors, and get positive reinforcement for that, you're on the right track. And the 5th and final thing you need to do to change your management style is to learn how to be a better manager. So there's 3 primary ways you're going to be learn from outside sources how to be a better manager. Number 1, books. There's some great management books out there. I would always start off with The 1 Minute Manager. It's a classic book, and it's a great starting point. The second way you can also learn then is the videos. There's YouTube videos out there that teach you how to improve yourself as a manager. You're probably watching this video right now, and there's lots and lots of other videos out there. But what I find is the third and probably the most effective way to learn how to be a better manager is to take a course, because a management course forces you to take knowledge and then apply that knowledge in an active way so that you get that continual improvement. Books are great, knowledge is great, videos are great, knowledge is great, but unless you apply the knowledge, it won't come to pass. So, what kind of course are we offering for management? We have a 12-week management course that is available to you. You can go through it and learn how to be a better manager, because management is all about putting that system of management in place. If you want to be a part of the upcoming 12-week management course, go ahead and click below, send me a message in the comments, or sign up for a 15-minute chat with me. We'll talk about how that would fit for you, and if it is, we'll get you enrolled. Go out there, move away from old style management to new management. You'll thank me for that.